Yeah. We can around to our part around here. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, that's time, yeah. Sometimes you get it out. Yes. What I want?
Morning guys, welcome to Yvonne and Whitney's kitchen. We pack up and go down at the HQ now, so stay tuned and look what I go on. Yeah, welcome back. I pack some coal in the stove now. Yeah man, I'm here with from Dream Island Pass to come catch the fire for me, kind of catch the fire. Stay tuned and watch where I go on. Yes guys, we are in the headquarters this morning. We're going to do some curry goat, as you can see there. And we're going to do some roti and some white rice. And this is our season, our ground season. Yes, so stay tuned and look what I go on.
Yes, people. So I realize a lot of you guys have been asking for some Indian cuisine lately. Now, as you all know, half Indian, this is one of the ways that I can really and truly connect with the culture. So, like mommy said, I'm going to deal with the curry goat and the roti. So stay tuned for that. Alright guys, so first and foremost, you want to get our roti dough going because we're going to have to leave it to set for a certain amount of time. So I'm going to show you guys what I tend to put in the dough. Now, this is not a traditional way to make roti by any means. But like I said before in previous videos, I like to do things in a way that is quick and efficient with great results. So this is the way I developed by watching my Indian family members and also some recipes online. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add some plain white flour. I'm gonna add in some baking powder as well. And then we're gonna add some salt. And that's the final ingredient. Now I realize a lot of you guys in the comments have been asking what is going on in relation to the measurement of our ingredients. Now first and foremost, I want to tell you that Jamaicans, we don't really use measuring cups and so forth if we're cooking. So what we normally do is just judge by how much we throw into our basin. But I can give you an estimate of the amount of flour I'm using. So this amount of flour is about 2.5 pounds of flour. The amount of baking powder is about 2 tablespoons. And the amount of salt is about half a tablespoon of salt. So as an estimate, you guys can use that and build on it. You can also taste your flour actually to see if that amount is okay with you after you've mixed everything in. But like I said, I usually judge this on my own like this, so I don't really have the need to taste it. So we're just gonna mix our ingredients together before we actually add in any water or anything. Alright, so you want to make sure everything is mixed out and well incorporated in terms of the dry ingredients, because you don't want any clumps of baking powder or salt at one point in the flour. So you want to make sure everything is mixed together and well incorporated. Okay, so now it's time to add in our water, and it's the same method for every dough that I basically do. So like in the last video that I showed you guys, start from one corner and work your way up. Now with the roti, it's going to be a much softer dough. So you're going to be adding more water than what you would normally use to make regular dumplings, as an example.
Yes guys, we're going to do the preparation for the goat meat now. We're going to start cleaning up the goat meat to get it seasoned up. So them white membrane on the meat, you have to clean them off because them not taste good on the meat and them tough. You have to get them off.
Yeah guys, so this is what our dough will look like when it's almost time to finish it. As you can see, it's very, very soft. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some oil to it before we put it down to set. And you really don't need a lot of oil. You just want enough to make the dough smooth. So guys, this is what the finished product should look like. As you saw earlier, I was just trying to get the oil incorporated into every layer of the dough. So it's going to look like this when it's finished. Now you're going to do is cover it with a piece of cloth so that no air can really go through, just small amounts. And you're going to leave it to set for about half an hour or an hour. Half an hour is the least if you're short on time. So it's your choice. Anyone works best for you. Alright guys, so we just finished kneading our dough and we left it to set. So I came over here now to help mommy out with the goat meat. So as you can see, it still needs to be cleaned up completely. So when we're finished, we're going to show you the finished product and show you how we season it up. So we're going to wash our meat now. I like to use both lime and vinegar to do so. And what this really does, it doesn't just clean off the meat, it also tenderizes the meat as well. So a lot of people aren't aware of that fact. When you tend to use these, the meat becomes a bit more tender before cooking. So a splash of vinegar and the lime. Now we have our water now. Just gonna mix this in. And you can look at the water and really see what I'm talking about. There's so much fat and grease and oil from off of the meat, and you can clearly see that floating above the water. Now a lot of people love to debate on whether or not you should wash your meat, but what I will say is as long as you clean the surfaces afterwards, there should be no issue with any contamination or salmonella from chicken and other meats. So we're just going to give it some additional washes just to really get that water clear. We want our meat to look almost clear when we're finished like this, because you can see when I started out the meat was really red, right? So this is how you can see that your meat is actually getting cleaned off. So after this we're going to do one final wash and then we're good to go. And you guys can look at this last water compared to the first one. You can see it's much clearer and there's a lot less pigmentation in it. Okay, so now that we have drained that off, immediately after, do not touch anything else, guys. Make sure to clean out your sink. So you want to clean your hands and your sink. Because I know a lot of people, what they'll do, they'll tend to move the meat and get into doing other things and forget to actually clean their sink properly. So, just to make sure you remember to do this process, just clean it right after. So that is it, guys. Just rinse and then you're good to go. Stay tuned for how we're going to season up the meat.
Yes guys, so while Whitney prepare the season, to season up the meat, we sit down and I take some cool breeze and look what I see can come from. And this kind of breeze will make you sleep in a deep water. It's really cool and nice. Yeah man, stay tuned for the cooking.
Alright guys, so here we have our seasonings that we're going to use for our curry goat. I'm just giving them a quick wash. These are 2 large stalks of scallion, 1 red onion, 3 cloves of garlic, about less than a pinch of thyme, and you have a small scotch bonnet pepper.
Yeah, time to roll off the fire now. Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Whole heap of fire in the place. Yeah. That is it, people.
Yeah guys, so it's time to wash our rice. Now we're just going to pour it into our basin and bring it over to the sink to get it washed.
Yeah, we're going to put on the pot now for the rice. That is it.
We just want to wash our rice to make sure we get the water as clear as possible. Because a lot of people will tell you not to wash your rice because you're getting off certain minerals. First and foremost, there's a lot of dirt on the rice. You actually need to wash your rice.
Yes people, so I'm going to put the rice in the pot now to cook. Yeah guys, and remember that right here, I'm going to cool water or hot water, whichever way you choose.
So we're just cutting our onion into some smaller pieces just to make things a little easier for the blender. Like I mentioned in a few videos prior, normally I like to blend up my seasonings because I don't like biting into huge pieces of seasonings when I'm eating my food, but I love the flavor of the seasoning. So I forgot to show you guys earlier, I do put a piece of ginger in there as well. So to this we're gonna add some vinegar, just a splash. Like I said, the vinegar tenderizes the meat. and some water to help with the blending process. And we don't want too much because we want it to be a bit of a thicker sauce. So this is what it should look like after it's finished. Some people would know this as green seasoning in different parts of the Caribbean. So you can also blend this up and keep it in your fridge for the purpose of seasoning any sort of meat. So I'm just gonna get this off and I'm gonna add it to my goat meat. So we're gonna add in our powdered seasoning now. I like to use chicken and all-purpose mixed together. You can use any seasoning of your choice really. All comes down to preferences. Remember, when you're cooking, it all depends on who you're cooking for. This is just my preference. If you guys want to use some form of other seasoning, go right ahead. Alright guys, and today, I know last time you guys asked how the cameraman was so quiet. So we have Dream Island Boss behind the camera today. He used to actually attend an agricultural high school, so I don't know if he wants to say something about the goat meat. Yeah, you guys can check what he's saying right now.
Yes guys, see there? One of my favorite meat, this thing of goat meat. Yeah. That is it. It's Whitney and Yvonne. Them say goat, you refer to one kind of animal themselves and what? The bovine species to him have hand and 4 foot. Everybody know goat resemble sheep. And the sheep come from the same family. Goat meat in the Caribbean and Asia mainly known as mutton. Yeah, but actually it is chevron really. From a French word. Somewhere in the 17th century them adapt that word there. Yeah. And somewhere them tied to the flesh of the goat. Yes. So actually sheep meat is mutton. The older sheep and the young one are lamb. But the goat meat, we call it mutton here same way, but when a man say I'm going to cook some goat, he actually mean goat meat in the Caribbean. Yes, and we have some different type of goat. We used to learn about the tagging bird, them and something from Switzerland and all them place and thing and different breed of goat. But we have some mixed breed goat here in Jamaica, people. It's one of the best set of goat, them are the best tasting meat them you can find anywhere in the world. And goat meat have a lot of health benefit. And most people don't know this, might shock a lot of people, but goat meat has less cholesterol than beef, chicken and pork. I'm going to say it again. It has less cholesterol than beef, chicken and pork. Yeah, including chicken. So goat meat is very healthy to eat for meat lovers. Yes, and goat meat cook easily and especially over slow fire. Most meat you can't cook over too much over slow fire because they will get hardened because of them have a thing we call marbling where the fat intersperse with the muscles and the bone and things like that. Right? Yeah. So goat meat no stay like that. When you study it and look again when you get a piece of goat meat, look where the fat them stay and where the fat lies. It don't intersperse with the meat. So goat meat is very healthy to eat and it cooks easily. The two best part of goat meat that can absorb the flavor though are the shoulder, so yeah, and the neck, if I can remember well, yeah, the shoulder and the neck. And people who can identify those by looking up, you can do research on them, you know. But goat meat is very nice, yeah. And we have a lot of goats that grow locally, and especially goats that feed on berries and plants mainly, right? Those meat, we know that those meat taste better than the ones that are fed with rations, pure ration and things like that, right? So this goat meat in particular is one of the best ones that we have here right now, and we know that for sure. Yeah, so
yeah, and I'm going to add some curry powder to this as well, guys. Just want to add a bit before it goes into the pot, just to get that curry flavoring down into the bone of the meat. Because I do like to add some curry to my meat beforehand, because I really want to get that curry flavor going already before we actually add anything to the pot. This also helps with getting the color even on the meat too. And guys, if you can get some disposable gloves to mix your meat together, that would be much better. So there we go now. That's the finished product. Once we are ready again, I'm gonna show you guys the cooking method that we use.
Yeah, so I'm checking for my rice now, guys. Yeah, man, look at that. Wow.
So what we're going to do is we're going to add some oil to our pot because I'm going to add butter as well. I like the flavor both of them give. Alright, so we add in a piece of butter with that as well. Like I said, I love the flavoring it gives to the meat. So now we're gonna add some of our curry and just get it burning in the oil. Okay. And remember, we don't need too much because we already added some to our meat. I'm just gonna get that stirred out. And now we're just going to add in our meat. You guys want to make sure to stir it and get it evenly coated in that burnt curry. And what we're going to do, we're going to leave it to cook for a bit. So we're going to cover it and leave it to simmer. So we're checking in on our pots, and as you guys can see, if you take a closer look, our meat has started to release some water from it. So that's a sign that it's cooking right now. We're just going to give it a quick stir and cover it again. Right here we have some potatoes. What we're going to do is we're actually going to add it into our goat meat after it's cooked a little bit more. Now what this does is it tends to give the gravy a little bit more body, and it also adds a different texture to it as well. I'm just gonna put these in the same basin that we seasoned our meat in. Because really and truly the water that we're going to throw into our pots, it will be thrown into this with the remainder of the seasoning. As I said, not now, we have something on that way. So this is our second check-in, and as you can see, the meat has released a lot more water. So it's definitely cooking down now. What we want to do is we want to wait until this reduces a bit more and the meat is actually getting some sort of golden crust to it. Then we're going to add in our water. So like I said, we're just going to leave this to cook for a few more minutes and then check in again.
Yes, guys. Yeah, we are going with the light drinks today now. Yeah. The original Jamaican lime. We used to traditionally use to make a drinks we call wash, which is actually lemonade. And the term wash used to use often when the farmers them have them thing what we call morning work. You know them call a different parish they call different thing. Where all the farmers in a particular region, when they come together a particular field and they all of them work together and complete that field. And they cook, and one of the main drinks that they used to use is a lemonade or sibling and lime mixed together, and they call it wash. They mix a big pan or a big pot of it and put the ice in there and everybody get a drink out of it. So it was a very popular drink in those days. And it still is now, people, and it's very flavorful. So that's what I'm going to make today. It is quick and easy. All you need is a lime, water, sugar, and then you add your ice to it. But you can add other flavors if you want, right? But that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to wash the lime then and cut them, squeeze them into the jug, and put the sugar in there and mix it. Or you can do it the other way by squeezing it into the cup, which is this cup here. Hold on, wait. You can squeeze into the cup here with a little water and add the sugar here, and then you mix it out and then you strain it in there, right? Guys, a lot of people don't know, but it's best when you use the lime without the strain. You squeeze it directly into the jug, right? It probably a little unhealthy or dirty, but you get out the seeds and squeeze it in there. It's a different, total different flavor. And you're going to see how I do it, so I want to stay tuned. These were washed already, my people, but just give them a second wash. You look there now, see here, the water is very clean, same way, right? Don't watch the size them. Bad weather take these come from a dry area, and these come from here where you have plenty water. Quick and easy, people. Just go and pour the sugar in here, right? We expect to make about quarter jug. We expect to make a little over half jug of lemonade with this amount of lime. So by experience, you know that it's going to take about quarter pound of sugar to do that. So we don't want it too sweet, right? So I estimate that to be quarter pound of sugar. Then you're gonna cut the lime, squeeze them in here like that, get out the juice. Yeah, just like that, and you rub them like that. Yes, and then that green one now you leave it in there, right? A little bit of the rind from the skin, give it a different flavor, right? That is it, quick and easy. Yeah, people see it, tell us a bad weather upon them. See, small amount of juice in the small ones, right? They're good, just the same. Now this is a ripe lime. You have to be careful when it comes to the ripe lime, because you cannot throw the skin in there, because the rind start to get a little bitter the more the lime mature. So once it start to ripe, then the skin get a little bit bitter, and then the flavor start to degrade, right? So that is it, people. Really. This is it now. Squeeze the lime in there, and then put the sugar inside, and I'm going to mix it out. So whisk him out like that, the people. And now you guys know that when you're mixing things, especially with sugar and salt, and if a crystal and you feel it in the bottom there and it's not mixing out, it means it becomes saturated, so it can't mix anymore under that the kind of temperature and pressure there. So we have to throw it out, and then we're going to add a little more water to the sugar that left inside here, because if you can't, no matter how long you stay there and mix it, it will not mix out, go any further, because it becomes saturated, right? You can pass, right? Finish mixing out the rest of sugar now. Yeah, right. So it mixes out totally now. So that is it. So you strain it like that. And guys, you have to use a very fine strainer like this, right? Because you know sugar is very dirty, right? So let me just put that this piece of skin must remain in the jug during the entire serving process. Yeah, the moment of truth now, people. Yeah. Right. That is it, the people. Yeah. So there you have it. Homemade lemonade. One of the best things. Otherwise known as wash. So catch you at the dinner table being served. Just like that.
Yes, guys, I make the final check on my rice now, and it's alright now, so I have to drain my land bars to take it off.
Okay, so this is what our roti dough should look like after resting. As you can see, it expanded and it's completely smooth on top. So what we're going to do now, we're going to just punch it down a bit to get out those air pockets. So what we're really doing is we're just giving the dough a little bit of a knead before we actually begin to separate it. Okay, so now we're going to separate it into some smaller pieces and roll them up into balls, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be rolling these out on a cutting board. So this is the size you'd want, because it's going to be rolled out very thinly. I'm just going to do all of these and you guys will see the finished product, so stay tuned. Another check-in on our pot. As you guys can see, the amount of water in it has reduced very much. So you're going to be left back with almost like a thick gravy on the bottom that you can see right here. Okay. So at this point, what I'm going to do is add in my potatoes. I'm going to just add in our potatoes and give it a quick stir.
One bread limo.
Okay. So after I stir this up and you guys can see what's going on in the pot, just gonna add in our water now. Okay guys, so now I told you earlier that I'd tell you more about the cooking method that we're going to use right now. Some people just let it cook on the stove like this for a couple of hours, but like I said, efficiency is the best thing for me. So personally what I like to do is get the meat to pressure so I can get it softer in a lesser amount of time. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the pressure cooker cover onto this and leave it to pressure for maybe half an hour, and then we're gonna check back on it. What we're gonna do is we're going to flour our surface that we're going to be rolling them on. So this prevents it from sticking to our cutting board. You can also use a counter to do this. Any surface really works as long as it's clean and it's level enough. And I add a little dust of flour to my rolling pin as well. And it's about. So what you want to do, take this and flatten it out a bit. Dust this on your board and we're going to start the rolling process. And you want to try and get it as even as possible, which means turning it as you're rolling so you can get around the corners and edges. Now, so after we're finished rolling, we're just going to add this to our pan. And you're going to wait until you start to see bubbles forming at the top before you flip it. Now you want to continue this process throughout. So this one is ready, as you can see. We're just gonna flip it over. And what I have here is some oil and butter to just brush it. This adds flavor and it also helps it to cook. Helps it with remaining soft as well after you're finished cooking. I'm just gonna brush it across the top surface of it. I'm also gonna do it on the other side once you flip it. Now you can skip this step totally if you want. This is just a personal. Now we're ready to flip again.
I've been living fast life, but I say it is slow. I live in my lifestyle like I chase in the club. See many people there outside when they feel my toe. I'm gonna stand the defender like you said you. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I just be here if I'm money. If you fall in love, girl, it's satin. You go to breakfast and no catching. Can you see dripple, I'm not catching. I'm not faking this, no fugazi. You see these feelings, I'm not catching. I'm not first and feet, I just want it. Happiness. If I broke down my business, I'ma show you go right. All I get for the night. Happiness. If I broke down my business, I'ma show you go right. All I get for the night. You do not fly not fait jamais souvent, n'a fait jamais souvent. Tout est maculayo, n'a fait jamais souvent. But girl say she want Netflix and chill, so I just be here if I'm one.
We're still in the process of making some roti. So once we're finished with everything, you guys are gonna get to see all of that.
Time to open Whitney's Curried Goat pack. That is it, the people.
Okay, so we're doing a quick chicken on our goat. A taste test. We're going to just give this a bit more to cook. After the check-in, we did a taste test and we realized that the meat was very tender, so it's time to get it cooking down now. What we're gonna do is we're actually gonna add some more seasoning to the pot. That is it. All we have to do is leave this to cook down until the gravy breaks down a bit more, and then we're good to go. Okay guys, so it's time for the final check-in. As you guys can see, the pot is bubbling up nicely. So a few more minutes, probably 3 or 2, we're going to remove it from the flame, and then we're going to share the food. Alright guys, so after our final check-in, we realized that our meat is now fully cooked. So what we're gonna do is just plate up our food, and you guys are gonna see when we're eating.
We're going to taste it, but we're going to serve grace first. Yes, Father in heaven, we thank you for this moment. It's a special moment in our lives when we can sit and eat a special together. It's a great blessing, oh God. Yeah, we thank you for your mercy for those who really journey through this type of cooking. It's very hard to put a meal together nowadays, especially like this. Oh God, and we are grateful for you. You know that you guide and keep Yvonne and Whitney. And Lord, we thank you for those who are watching us now, those who are supporting us on the channel. We ask that you provide for each and every one of them. And Lord, those who don't have to eat this evening, we are asking you to help them in some way or the other. Let somebody reach out to them, Lord, because we know we have food on this earth to feed everybody for 5 years at any given time, and yet some are starving. It is disheartening, it is bad, but sometimes we have to blame it on sin and blame it on wrong decision by humans. But anyhow, God, we are about to partake this food. Let it be a benefit to our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. That is it, the people.
Alright, so let us see what you guys think.
Have you tasted the wash first?
Alright, how the wash stay?
Ah, man, I tell you, man. Brother Paul, you taste the wash.
How's the wash? Come in.
Yeah man, big up your Jamaican lemonade, always up.
Alright, now I want to hear about the food now, especially the curry goat.
And I get enough roti though. I want piece of roti you give me.
Yeah man. That's the goat are the real thing, you know? And you cook nice. Yes guys, food really wonderful. Yeah, man. Nice. Yeah. Even a Whitney's kitchen really why?
Tell me how the food stay.
But it was worth it.
Food up. The man, it tastes good.
Yeah, and Mr. Dunbar just check in too.
Just check in now. Before we go to the ROTI as a one.
Yeah. No.
And chow.
You can pass it on.
Gotcha, you're done already. So guys, that is it. As you can see.
Yeah.
Remember to like, share and subscribe. And see you guys in the next one. Everybody peace out.
Just like that.
Mario. Alright.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.